What if I ask you, who was the first person to have hosted our national flag for the first time? And what if I tell you that no, it was not Jawaharlal Nehru? Well, in a way he was, but there were many people before him who have unfurled the flag that they considered to represent our great nation. And from amongst all those stories, there is one such story about one such special person that is not just interesting, but that can also teach us a lot about what it actually means to love our mother nation. The year was 1907. The International Socialist Conference was being held at Stuttgart, Germany. There, an Indian lady goes up and unfurls a flag which looks like this. To that, the people there give her a standing ovation. Well, can you now guess who this great lady was? Well, if you can't, don't be sad because it's not your fault. Well, it's not our fault because some days back, I too didn't know about her. So this brave young lady is Madam Bhikaji Cama. Madam Bhikaji Cama was born on 24th September 1861 into an affluent Parsi family in Bombay. Her father Saurabhji Patel was a famous merchant there, and he was quite involved in social, educational and philanthropic activities there. And so naturally Madam Cama grew up an educated and aware lady. And because of that, she also started taking an active interest in Indian politics and also in the Indian nationalist struggle right from an early age. In 1885, she got married to Rustamji Cama, a very well-known lawyer in Bombay. But their marriage didn't go quite well because on the one hand, Rustamji Cama was very pro-British and he liked their culture and was of the opinion that they had done quite a lot for India. And on the other hand, Madam Cama was a fierce nationalist and therefore she kept to her social work mostly. The year was 1896 when a severe plague broke out in Bombay. Hundreds of people were dying and therefore Madam Cama decides to volunteer in helping and nursing the patients. And therefore, after some time, she too contracts the disease. Although she recovers quickly, the disease leaves her in poor and frail health. And therefore, her family sends her to Europe in 1902. And there, she would need to spend the majority of her remaining life. While in London, she comes into contact with fellow Indian nationalists like Dadabhai Naoroji, Lala Hardayal, Shyamji Krishna Verma and many more. There she starts interacting with them, getting involved in pro-independence activities, and also she starts giving fiery speeches. And it was then that she receives a notice from the British government saying that she would not be allowed to return to India unless she signs an agreement promising that she would not get involved in nationalist activities, to which she naturally refuses. She then relocates to Paris, where again she resumes with her campaigns. She first meets up with some fellow nationalists and then she forms some parties here and there, and she also embarks in a crusade in spreading awareness about our independence movement with her speeches and also with her writings. For example, she started Bande Mataram, a periodical in response to Bande Mataram being banned in India, and also Madan's Talwar after Madan Lal Dhingra's execution, which is another interesting story in itself, which we'll surely cover if you want us to. So all these things did more than just irritate the British. But the British, being the British, were not among the ones to stay idle. They tried a lot to stop her, to get hold of her and stop her in her activities, but they were unable to do so. They even tried to extradite her from France, but thankfully the French government refused. Then in 22nd August 1907, in Stuttgart, Germany, she unfurls the flag that she had designed together with Shyamji Krishna Verma and Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, aka Veer Savarkar. And thereby she becomes the first Indian to have hosted an Indian flag in foreign soil. This is what she said there.
Behold, the flag of independent India is born. It has been made sacred by the blood of young Indians who sacrificed their lives in its honor. In the name of this flag, I appeal to lovers of freedom all over the world to support this struggle.
Now you can see this flag in display in Maratha and Kesari Library in Pune. After Stuttgart, she visits many places in Europe and in America. And then in 1910, while she was in Egypt, she attends the National Conference in Cairo. This is what she said there.
Where is the other half of Egypt? I see only men who represent half the country. Where are the mothers? Where are the sisters? You must not forget that the hands that rock cradles also build persons.
Then, in 1914, when the First World War broke out, she is said to have visited the army camp in Marseilles, and there she is said to have asked the Indian men there whether they were actually going to fight for the people who have changed their motherland. She then spends the rest of her life in exile in Europe until 1935, when she was allowed to return to India owing to her poor health. This brave lady passes away on 13th August 1936. She bequeaths all her assets to different charities. I feel that her memory has not been honored enough. Somehow her name has faded away into obscurity from the old yellow pages of our history books. And therefore, it is upon us that we revive her, and not just her, all personalities like her, so that we may have better role models for us and for our society to follow.
For more such interesting videos on our history and heritage, do subscribe to our channel and do not forget to like and share it with your friends.